Thank you for joining me here. You're watching Psycho Tarot, and today I will be giving a flash reading for the collective. If you get any advice, any knowledge, wisdom, or anything you'd like to share from my reading, that's great. If you don't, take what resonates and leave the rest. And that what that means is if it's relatable, great. If it isn't, pay it no mind. All right, so let's get started. Before we start, go ahead and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and tap into the reading. Before I start, I don't know who likes these, but sorry about candies. Also, pimple patch. Addressed it, acknowledged it, move on. Moving forward, here we have the Cosmic Insight Tarot deck. Here we have Tattoo Tarot deck. So if you'd like, you can choose a deck of cards. If you want, you can watch both readings. If you'd like, you can watch your specific reading. And if you want, you can just click out of the video. I will give a couple more seconds for your choice of whichever deck you'd like to watch. Go ahead. We have this beautiful pink gem here, and we have this beautiful opaque black noir, or I don't know, like midnight deep space gem here. We are starting with the noir or black gem. If need be, choose whichever one is more fitted towards your style. I'm just here reading cards. I just work here. Don't blame me. Like I said, take what resonates and leave the rest. If you find a deeper meaning, that is great. Share it. If you don't, well, there's other readings, or, you know, maybe it just isn't for you. Hey, can we have some message for the month of July, looking forward, things we could expect in the next week, or anything that deck one, pile one, should know? May I get a guided message from Spirit? Let's see. Ooh, almost half of the deck came out. That's crazy. Ooh. All right, for the first card, we got pregnancy. Ooh. How many? Like 3 to 5 cards? Okay, this one wants to stay out. Usually I do choose about 3 to 5 cards. But anyways, so this will be your reading, pile 1. So we have first pregnancy. Looks like somebody is expecting. This could be you're actually pregnant, like in a literal sense, like you are carrying a child. Or it could be that there is some sort of venture, or there is some sort of project that you treat like a baby. You nurture, you've pretty much raised it from the ground up, invested your time, been very gentle with it. You've kind of maybe taught yourself all you know, or you're teaching yourself as you go along. It is a similar relationship to that of a mother nurturing their child, or even maybe a couple expecting a surprise, a gift from the heavens above or the deep depths of hell, whatever you believe in. Demon spawn children do exist. Angel children do exist. Whatever. So there could be, or maybe you have some sort of like blooming, maybe bond that feels like it's very intimate and emotional, and there's very much ups and downs, a roller coaster, maybe similar to somebody who has been carrying a baby, or somebody who is, expecting child. Move on. Someone is unavailable, a waste of time. It's over. So maybe there was somebody who was partnering with you, who maybe took a step back and might have removed themselves from the situation, leaving you to have all responsibility. It might be a very tedious and hostile situation, very much tension. I feel as if maybe when you were expecting that person to really shine through and show how strong they were, they might have Possibly, I don't want to say disappointed you or let you down, but they might have maybe underexceeded your expectations somehow. Challenge, make a decision, work on inner healing in reverse. So that possibly could be a result of that person maybe taking a step back, or maybe you're the person who needs to move forward because they aren't fulfilling their responsibilities in that relationship that you're having. With the card in reverse, it could be possibly that you're already in the mindset of your inner healing and mending yourself, your emotions, and maybe your fragile ego from the situation. But it possibly could be that that person might consistently show up again and might, revamp the feelings that you had, and you're maybe possibly in need of a conversation. Be willing to open up, or maybe even be willing to push that person out. Maybe your stance before was that your open truth and open vulnerability and willingness to share with that person might have been overlooked, or possibly they there might have been some sort of like blockage in the way. There might have been some sort of wall. There might have been some sort of misconnection or disconnect with your feelings and their mind, or your feelings and their perspective of the situation, their stance, or maybe they're just one of those interesting individuals who understand where you're coming from, understand what your stance is, your perspective. However, they feel as if it's their job to be steadfast and ready, and are constantly pushing your direction in a place of fragility, or towards a place of, I want to say, maybe your emotional limit. With the move on card and the challenge and the pregnancy, I'm thinking maybe it's a very like passionate, or like very intricate, complex, or it's a very strong connection, passionate relationship, but the feelings might not always be specifically romantic. Maybe that person just literally works your last nerve, and they press your buttons in a way that somebody else might be unable to do. So then we have here, let go in reverse, make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. You're possibly somebody who either needs a change in your maybe your willingness to find individuals who are like that individual who was currently in that relationship with you, or Spirit is telling you that your next task or your next challenge is to let go of the things that possibly were making it difficult for your current situation. Maybe the entire scenario was kind of like an idea, or maybe like a future plan, a goal. And maybe Spirit is saying, let go. Let go of that idea. Let go of forcing things, and just let things happen how they are meant to happen. And that possibly might be the challenge that is needed to be fulfilled or complete. Maybe you're somebody who constantly sets goals, or is goal oriented, and is very much inclined and dedicated for the success, or for the triumph of completing your goals. And the situation that you're in isn't necessarily one that is able to be forced, pushed, or manipulated, or fixed in any sort of way. Just let the current flow. All right. And then we have liar in reverse. Be careful of someone sneaky. So maybe the subject of whatever you're going through, maybe you're constantly like lying to yourself, or somebody isn't completely telling you the truth, or being honest. Maybe somebody seems like they might be a little bit deceitful, or they're trying to find their way around being upfront and direct with you, possibly where the emotions might stem from, and be that of somebody who's like fertile or pregnant. Because like I said, it might be a relationship of somebody like mothering their child or somebody very delicate. Maybe that person is just very delicate with your feelings, but maybe you or that person as well. Like, remember, that person could also be, you know, oppositely feeling similar. Like maybe you're the person who doesn't really necessarily reach out or understand their feeling, feel for them, or have that like compassion and empathy for them. It doesn't really seem like it's that of sympathy. It seems like it's more of an empathetic standpoint. Like they just want like they just want your hand. Like they just want your steps to be reaching out for them. They want your grasp of the situation and to know that you're somebody that actually cares and will go out of their way to prove it to them. Maybe there's somebody who's very bold and brilliant and they know that things that are simple, like how things are, shouldn't really have to be explained, but maybe that's just kind of your dynamic. Maybe they're more of like the person that expects things, but you're the type of person who knows they expect things, but want to see if they take a step out of their comfort zone. And maybe that's where it is, with the disconnect. Maybe it's that like you're both so keen on how each other are that like working around each other seems like it's like you're like there's a constant sense of maybe avoidance or tiptoeing around. I don't want to say stepping on eggshells because it doesn't seem like both individuals are that fragile, but it seems like maybe in trying to be malleable and like flexible with each other's boundaries, that constantly might be causing the tension or causing some sort of disagreements, or like they might think you're trying to be sly or get one over on them, or like play them against themselves, when in reality, either party might be taking their best steps to be fragile and to kind of avoid the minefield. And then I said I'd read these two cards. Open your heart. It will help you attract more love and intuition. The red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. So it's telling you open your heart, be open and like allow yourself to receive love, allow yourself to receive the nurturing and care and wholesomeness that you're very much deserving of. But it's also saying be careful. Spirit's also saying be careful and don't let yourself be swayed, wooed, or naive by like puppy love or like little kitty games. Let yourself receive that is respectable and that feeds feeds your feeds your needs as best as need be. But also don't accept anything that is thrown at you. Don't accept every compliment. Don't accept every conversation. Stand for your standard. What is it? Stand for something or you'll fall for anything. So make sure you just keep on lock, like keep yourself standing, keep yourself vigilant and observant, and make sure that your genuine feelings and how you feel true for yourself is acknowledged, and make sure you're like gentle with your own feelings. Don't expect the other person to constantly be the person nurturing your feelings. Maybe that's a role that you're needing to take on. That maybe that's your role that you're constantly maybe dodging and avoiding. Letting yourself believe that you aren't asking for too much. I have a set of gems and a pendant here for this deck. It seems like it's aqua, maybe turquoise. They're just earrings along with the pendant of a face. If you want to look real quick. I just grabbed them. I felt called to grab them. They seemed like they went with your pile. And then there's also this beautiful silver bell. So what I'm getting is that song, I can hear the bells. yeah, maybe that's you. Maybe you're somebody who just needs to listen and look out for yourself. Maybe things are like chiming, or maybe things are ringing in your ears, and that could be where it's saying, like, don't avoid your intuition and don't ignore your intuition, but also do what feels right for you. And nobody else can really tell you how you're feeling. Nobody else is in charge of your emotions other than yourself. So if you're hearing bells and everybody else is hearing chirping, so be it. If your person is hearing the bells and everybody else says that there's rattlesnakes, so be it. As long as you're at the same frequency and you're on the same wavelength, that's all that's important. Go browse my page for part 2 of the reading, deck 2, the alternate deck, with this beautiful pink, I think it's like a mineral stone. I have no idea. It honestly reminds me of Pepto Bismol. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, go ahead and find part 2 on my profile page.